Jack Mallers named CEO of new Bitcoin powerhouse 21 Capital plans to launch with 42,000 Bitcoin, and how less than 0.1% of global companies publicly traded can do the same. Stay tuned.
Every minute you wait, Bitcoin climbs higher. The difference between success and regret? Taking action now. At Drip2BTC, you get more than just Bitcoin. You get growth, security, and peace of mind. Buy Bitcoin, deposit it, and watch your future transform. No risk, no reward. Start earning at drip2btc.com.
Hey guys, welcome back. Drip Coach here with Drip Info on Poor Poverty, where we don't trust, we verify, and operate with integrity and transparency. I gave you guys a snippet of this previously. Nothing has changed with it, but I decided to dig a little deeper and add a little thought experiment to this. So if you're not familiar, Jack Mallers, he was the CEO of Strike. I think he's like 36, 34. He's below 40. And Strike is a, what would you call it, peer-to-peer Bitcoin payment app, basically. You can now get loans in Bitcoin on there as well. And he recently partnered with Tether and Softbank to create this new publicly traded company that will focus specifically on Bitcoin acquisition, essentially, so that the balance sheet by default is in Bitcoin. And if you buy shares in this company, it's all about getting a Bitcoin return rate, as they call it, and more Bitcoin per share. So you're not buying securities of a company and trying to evaluate it in dollars. You're getting it all in Bitcoin. And they're starting their balance sheet at 42,000. I believe the bulk of this 42,000 is coming from Tether's reserves, because they have a lot of Bitcoin. I don't know exactly how much, but a lot of this stuff could have been acquired in the background previously. It doesn't mean that there's going to be a boom right now. But what I do want to dive in is that this is a new company, like just getting launched. It has nothing to do with old companies like what Michael Saylor did with Strategy, having cash, and what GameStop is now doing. This is a new company creating this. So let's run the numbers on how and if other companies can create this, and why, again, I said in the previous video, we're just not bullish enough. Like, I am trying to still wrap my head around focusing on evaluating things in Bitcoin terms and not looking at how much I'm making in dollar terms from it. So for me, it's not being bullish enough to say you don't have enough Bitcoin, because it's going to come a point, and I'm going to show you this mathematically, where it is just going to get super expensive and, nay, I say, almost impossible for a normie to acquire Bitcoin. Now, first, I wanted to do a little digging to see how many publicly traded companies are out there. And according to this Brave AI generated search, it's about 48,000, which ties to this data.worldbank.org, 47,926 as of 2022. So we can't go past that. So we're just going to use that 48,000 number. Now, I'm looking at this because, as I just mentioned to you guys, this is a new publicly traded company. So this does not count individual millionaires, billionaires, all of us normies out there stacking sats. This is just big companies that can do the new strategy and what Jack Mallers and GameStop is doing. So companies having much more money than the average person and having maybe a lot of cash in their balance sheet and seeing that treasuries is not the place to put it. Maybe they want to acquire Bitcoin. And on top of that, this chart here shows that there are not that many people playing the game in regards to just Bitcoin holders as companies. I don't know how many are on this sheet, but they hold a total, for these public ones, they hold a total of 761,000 Bitcoin, with the bulk of that being MicroStrategy with 553. So a lot of them do not hold hardly a fraction of that. So this is where, here they are, XXI, 31 and 5. So I guess they're going to be acquiring another 11,500 to take on, still be in third place. GameStop, I don't see up here. Are they under Riot? I don't remember. But the point being is that there's not a lot there. Then private companies own another 285,000. Governments own another 1.5. And we could probably say that half of that they probably sold, and we don't even know if they still have it or not. But either way, when you add all of these up together in this new one under smart contracts and exchanges, you're looking at about 3.5 million when I added all these up together. So in circulation, there's about 20 million available. We'll say about 2 of that is probably lost. That's 18 minus the 3.5. So there's about 14.5 million sitting out there in the normie wallets, basically. And right now, currently on exchanges is 2.2 million. Okay, I'll show you where I'm going with this. So 2.2 million is publicly available on exchanges, but that's not counting the other 14 or so million that people could move onto exchanges to sell. But either way, out of the 48,000 potential companies and the acquisition that they're doing with 42,000 BTC, we have 46 companies out of the 48,000 that could purchase that same amount. Now, again, this is just playing like devil's advocate, saying since that's what this one company did, if others wanted to do the same, only 46 of the 48,000 could do that. Obviously, some companies could purchase less, some could purchase more, but what I'm trying to show you is that there's not a lot going around. So all this is taking the 2,221,000 Bitcoin that is available on exchanges that I showed you guys here. Actually, I went up a bit. So let's go to 17,000 divided by the 48,000 companies. So 46 still. 46 companies can repeat that strategy with what's available on exchanges, of course. And as that gets bought up, clearly that will cause supply shock, FOMO. Others, especially, again, this is companies. This has nothing to do with nation states, millionaires, billionaires, small businesses that aren't publicly traded, people like you and me here on YouTube. So again, we're just not bullish enough because this is the only time that retail has been able to get in and front run every larger institution like nation states and countries and governments and big companies. And that means they're just going to pump your bags. So there was this question going around on X about can strategy be dethroned, or does Jack and his new 21 Capital have a chance at taking the throne from strategy? And I highly doubt it. Like, I don't think anyone, he started this 4 years ago when Bitcoin was at 10 to 20K. He bought most of his dollar cost average price is around 66,000 if I'm not mistaken. But no matter what happens, anyone racing to overthrow Saylor just makes Saylor richer. So that's just more money going into Bitcoin, which denominated again in fiat terms just makes him worth more money on paper and able to re-leverage and do it again. So you need to look at that same playbook that Michael Saylor has bet the farm on, and you need to be doing the same thing, because you still have an opportunity to get in before a lot of these other FOMO adopted entities jump in and do the same thing, and they will pump your bags in exchange. And there will come a point in time where I do believe, like I said, it'll be this global neutral reserve asset that you will be able to trade in across borders. Countries will accept it. Regular retail vendors will accept it as well. Maybe not in all countries, but in most. I don't know, and I get that probably within the next two cycles. So like the next 8 years, by 2032, 33-ish, I would expect to see that in a lot more countries where you'll be able to just pay in Bitcoin. The Lightning Network will be much better off. You'll be able to use your regular hot wallet or whatever you have on your phone. iPhone and Android will have adopted some kind of digital wallet native to their phone system, so you can get your Satoshis sent directly there. And that's when it hits global adoption, whenever each person can have it on their cell phone and get access to buy and exchange in it. And I don't think we are very far off from that. Like, I think we will see a Apple or Android adoption before the end of this cycle, in my opinion. And if not them, then someone else creating a smartphone or app or something like that built directly into the wallet, or into a phone. So maybe like an Oppo or a Huawei or something like that, third party. I have no idea. But the point is that there is not enough Bitcoin to go around. And if you are not stacking sats now, you may not get the opportunity. So if you're still playing the crypto degen shit token cycle where you're hoping to gamble your way to wealth, I believe you're going to get wrecked just like I did. And you're going to get left behind in this cycle. And you're going to be kicking yourself, because by the time you get around to saying I should be stacking sats, Bitcoin's going to be 5x from where it is sitting now. Just like it was when I made the mistake and watched it go all the way out of the bottom at 16K and wasn't buying in. And I started really dollar cost averaging at the 70K range. So I lost that 5x myself. So I'm just trying to warn you guys, just show you the global narratives being moved around, the chess pieces in the background that you're not paying attention to, because you might be chasing shit tokens thinking that that's going to be your get rich quick scheme. And some of you might make it, but the vast majority will get wrecked. Whereas if you are going all in on Bitcoin, the vast majority will make it. And I don't think anyone will get wrecked. And if anyone gets wrecked in Bitcoin, you either had a short-term thesis or the entire network blew up and we all have a much bigger problem at hand anyway. All right, that's all I got. Smash the HBO special, help brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.